गणानां त्वा गणपतिगुं हवामहे कविं कवीनामुपमश्रवस्तमम् ज्येष्ठराजं ब्रह्मणां ब्रह्मणस्पतान् शृण्वन्नोतिभिः सीदसादनम् प्रणो देवी सरस्वती वाजेभिर्वाजिनीवती धीनामविद्यवत् ॐ गणेशाय नमः ॐ सरस्वत्यै नमः ॐ श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः शुक्लाम्बरधरं विष्णुं शशिवर्णं चतुर्भुजं प्रसन्नवदनं ध्यायेत् सर्वविघ्नोपशान्तये वागीशाद्या सुमनसः सर्वार्थानामुपक्रमे यं नत्वा कृतकृत्या स्युः तं नमामि गजाननम् वक्रतुण्डमहाकाय कोटिसूर्यसमप्रभ निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा सरस्वति नमस्तुभ्यं वरदे कामरूपिणी विद्यारम्भं करिष्यामि सिद्धिर्भवतु मे सदा सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम् ब्रह्मानन्दं परमसुखदं केवलं ज्ञानमूर्तिं द्वन्द्वातीतं गगनसदृशं तत्त्वमस्यादिलक्ष्यम् एकं नित्यं विमलमचलं सर्वधी साक्षिभूतम् भावातीतं त्रिगुणरहितं सद्गुरुं तं नमामि सद्गुरुं तं नमामि श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादशङ्करं लोकशङ्करम् शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्य केशवं बादरायणम् सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवत् व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरं यस्य सन्निधिमात्रेण सर्वे शिष्याश्च सेवकाः कर्मक्षेत्रे प्रवर्तन्ते चिन्मयं तं नमाम्यहम् चिन्मयं तं नमाम्यहम् Hari Om everybody, welcome back after the break. Let's get started with our Mangala Charana Shloka of Viveka Choodamani. Sarva Vedanta Siddhanta Gocharam Tamagocharam Govindam Paramanandam Sadgurum Pranatosmyaham. So in the last several weeks, we have been exploring the answers that Bhagavan Shankaracharya ji laid out for us to the 7 profound questions that the student had asked in verse number 49. Let us chant that. O nama bandha कतमेष आगतः कतं प्रतिष्ठास्य कतं विमोक्ष्यः कोऽसावनात्मा परमः क आत्मा तयोर्विवेकः कथमेतदुच्यताम्. First, we studied what is anatma. Then we went through the nature of atma. We explored what are the causes of bondage, bandhana, how to free from this bondage. We covered the Shariratraya Viveka. We covered Gunatraya Viveka, Avastatraya Viveka. And last week, before the break, we started with the topic of Panchakosha Viveka as a part of the Atma Anatma Vivechanam. Bhagavan Shankaracharya ji started the answer to question number 7 that was asked by the student. Tayor Vivekaha Katham. How to differentiate between this Atma and Anatma. And let us start with that verse number 153 in the text. Munjadishikamiva drusyavargat pratyanchamaatmanamasangamakryam vivichya tatra pravilapya sarvam tadatmana tisthati yassa muktaha. Atma Anatma Vivechanam. Those who are attending these classes regularly, we had already seen this in verse number 2. See, the proper grasp of the teachings should be followed by Atma Anatma Vivechanam. In this verse, we saw the example of the munja grass, a type of grass separating the tender stalk from the blade of grass. Like that, similarly, separating the self from the not self. And we had seen this methodology of vivichya and pravilapya. I'm using these terms because you are exposed to it already in Atma Bodha before. First, I do vivichya, meaning to separate Atma from Anatma. Atma Anatma Vivechanam. We know Anatma has no independent existence. And as a part of that, we started our Panchakosha Viveka before the break. And I told you that from verses number 154 through 211, an elaborate description of Panchakosha Viveka in Viveka Choodamani. So just to recap, what are these Panchakoshas? We know that there are 5 sheets that cover the self, that veil the self. The Atman, or the Supreme Self, is represented by the symbol Om. Let me see if I have that diagram. There you go. So the Atman, or the Supreme Self, is represented by the symbol Om. And there are 5 concentric circles representing the matter envelopments surrounding the Atman, covering the Atman. They are called koshas or sheets. And what are they? First one, the outermost layer is the foot sheet. Annamaya Kosha, vital air sheath or Pranamaya Kosha, mental sheath or Manomaya Kosha, intellectual sheath or Vijnanamaya Kosha, bliss sheath or Anandamaya Kosha. I hope it is very clear to all of you. And we are also seeing, I already mentioned this in the last class, this methodology of Panchakosha Viveka, or also called as Panchakosha Vidya, is outlined beautifully in the second chapter of Taittiriya Upanishad. We had also seen this briefly in Atma Bodha, how to negate the five sheets. In Viveka Choodamani, he starts this topic with verses number 151 and 152. Vanchanam api koshanam apavade vibhatyayam shuddha. And in 152, Atma anatma vivekaha kartavyaha bandha muktaye vidusha. Meaning, when all these five sheets have been negated, Vidusha means the wise man who has understood the knowledge of Vedanta should do this Panchakosha Viveka. Okay. We started this with the outermost layer in the last class called Annamaya Kosha or food sheath, the top of the outermost circle. When I, the self, identify with the food sheath, I say, I am a man, I am a woman, I am fat, I am lean, I am tall, I am short, all these type of attributes based on the physical layer of our personality. So Annamaya Kosha, this outermost precinct of our personality, beyond which we do not physically exist. So it is produced by the regenerative fluids of our parents, which is nothing but modification of Anna, food. It is born out of Anna, sustained by Annam, and it perishes and becomes Anna. We saw that last week before the break. Hence it is called as Annamaya Kosha or food sheath. So then in the last class, we also started with some select verses from Viveka Choodamani, starting with 154. So we are talking about this outermost layer of our personality, Annamaya Kosha. So we'll go to 154. Deho yamanna bhavanonnamayastu kosha चान्नेन जीवति विनश्यति तद्विहीनः त्वक्चर्ममांसरुधिरास्ति पुरीशराशि नायं स्वयं भवितुमर्हति In this verse, we saw that Annamaya Kosha, this physical body of ours, Deho, Dehoya Manna Bhavanonna Mayastu Kosha. It is a product of food. In Sanskrit, the word for food is Anna. Annamaya Kosha, meaning made out of food. It, it lives on food. Annena Jivati. Tad Vihinaha Vinashyati. It dies without it. As long as we supply food, it grows, it sustains itself. What is it made out of? Vakcharma Mamsa Rudhirasti Purisharashi. Tvak, the inner skin, and outer skin, flesh, blood, bones, filth, tvak, charma, mamsa, rudhira, asti. These filthy things somehow stitched together with a nice looking leather bag or a walking toilet, as we described it last time. Nayam swayam bhavitu arhati nitya shuddha. This filthy body, Bhagavan Shankaracharya says, this filthy body can never be this nitya shuddha atma. Bhagavan Shankaracharya asked this, can this be ever pure atma? Nayam swayam bhavitu marhati nitya shuddha. Then in verse number 155, Purvam janeradimruteraphi nayamasti Jatakshana kshana guno aniyata svabhavaha Naiko jadascha gatavat paridrushyamanaha Swatma katham bhavati bhava vikaravetha. Now, in this verse, Bhagavan Shankaracharya ji is highlighting the impermanent nature of this body. Purvam janeradi mruterapi nayamasti. Was it there? He questions, was it there before it was born? And having come into existence, we are talking of our physical body, having come into existence, it continues for some time. Jatakshana. And then it comes under the grip of death and ceases to exist. And when it exists, Shana Guno Aniyata Swabhavaha, it keeps on changing. And it is always undependable. Shana Gunaha, momentary quality, keeps on changing every moment. We all say, I don't have the strength like I used to before. The muscle mass is gone. All that we say. No definite virtues, no qualities. It is jada. It has no sentiency on its own. We know Atma is nirguna. And if we observe keenly in this verse, Bhagavan Adi Shankaracharya ji says, it is an assemblage of parts. made out of different ingredients and somehow appear to be as a whole. And then he highlighted one important aspect in this verse. It is an object of perception. It can be perceived by my senses. It can also be perceived by others. So body can be perceived. How? Like Dhatavat paridrushyamanaha. It is perceived like a pot. Dhata drushyatvat. It is seen, it is perceived. So here, for negation, we have to use our druk, drushya, viveka. The seer and the seen logic. We have gone through that with that text. Atma is drashta, body is drushya vastu. Swatma katham bhavati bhava vikaraveta. How can this ever-changing body or this entity can be the seer of all changing objects? That is the question. So can this body that is always changing, be Atma? And the answer is a clear no. So we will see one more verse on this body identification. In this verse, it becomes so obvious. Kaya Sharire, verse number 163 in your text. Chaya Sharire Pratibimbagatre. Chaya Sharire Pratibimbagatre. Yatsvapna Dehe Hridikalpitange. Yatsvapna Dehe हृदिकल्पिताङ्गे यथात्मबुद्धिस्तव नास्ति काची यथात्मबुद्धिस्तव नास्ति काचे जीवच्चरीरे तत च तथैव मास्तु जीवच्चरीरे च तथैव मास्तु. Here, beautifully, Shankaracharya ji asked this question. See, Chaya Sharira, we do not identify with the shadow of our body. See, when we stand in the sun, bright sun, our body casts a shadow. We never feel if somebody steps on that shadow, or we never feel insulted when somebody steps on it, stomps on it, because we simply do not associate with it. Same way, we do not identify with our image in the mirror. Pratibimbagatra. We see that image in the mirror of ourselves or a water pond, let's say, a reflection. Nothing happens if the image is distorted because we don't have any identification with it. We know it is a reflection. Then the third example in that verse he gives is our dream body, Swapna Deha. In our dreams, our mind creates a dream body. So many things happen to it in our dream. We suffer with that body or we enjoy with that body in our dream. And the fate of that body, we don't worry about it. The moment we wake up, when that dream body dies, we don't cry about it. We laugh it off, in fact, and say, I had this stupid dream, and we laugh it off. Because we don't have any identification with it. We know it is not real. Then lastly, we have an imaginary body. Rudhi kalpitange. Rudhi kalpitanga. We imagine ourselves to be in a body that does not affect us. Same way, Bhagavan Shankaracharya ji says, we need to stop identifying with this body, which is the root cause of all our miseries. He says, Jiva Sharire Chatathaiva Mastu. See how beautifully he kind of prosecuted that. Structured thinking. Now let us see how we negate the Annamaya Kosha, or our physical layer of the personality. We saw this before the break. See, in Panchakosha Viveka methodology of negation, we first need to remember the nature of Atma. That is why we studied that before. What is it? Sat Chit Ananda Swarupa. Atma is Nitya, eternal, meaning it is changeless. Atma is Sakshi Swarupa to these Panchakoshas. Atma is Nirguna, without any attributes. Atma is Nishkriya, actionless. It is Nirvikalpa, meaning it does not undergo any modifications. It is Nirvikara. It is Nishkriya, it is actionless. Nirakara, it is without any form. Nirmala, without any impurities. We have seen all these type of direct pointers, Atma Lakshanas. So in the Panchakosha Viveka, we take those Atma Lakshana, we start our process of inquiry whether these 5 sheets, Panchakoshas, whether they meet this criteria or not. So we saw this last week prior to the break as to how to apply in our negation of Annamaya Kosha or food sheet, or also called gross body, Sthula Sharira. So number 1, I gave you a few points in that thinking process. The physical body. It is constituted of skin, flesh, fat, blood, bones, marrow, so on and so forth. Goes through many modifications. We know Atma is Nitya, eternal. It is birthless. It is deathless. Eternal means changeless. But the gross body, it is born, it exists for a short time, from birth to death. Even if you give it a lifespan of the whole 100 years, it is still anitya, impermanent. Number 1. Number 2, the body we all know is subject to modification, because we know at a cellular level also, body keeps on changing from moment to moment. It ages over a period of time. It undergoes many modifications. It gets diseases and goes through shed vikara, 6 modifications. You already know what they are. So it becomes food to other things when it perishes. But Atma is nirvikari, changeless, nirakara, formless. So we can say Annamaya Kosha or physical body, physical layer is not Atma. Third point, body is Jada, inert. It has no sentiency of its own because it is Panchikrita Pancha Mahabhuta. It is all made of inert substance. The self is or Atma is Chaitanya Swarupa. So I am not Annamaya Kosha. I am ever free from this birth and death. I am free from Jara and Vyadhi, diseases and old age, all that we can apply. So in short, we have looked at 5 major points. One, body is Mithya. It belongs to the category of Asat because it is Drushyatva. It can be seen and perceived. Number 2, body is controlled by the gunas with attributes. Atma is Nirguna. Body is Astira, unsteady. It is not uniform, whereas Atma is Sthira, changeless. Body is Aneka, made of many, many parts. Atma is Sada Eka, Eka Rupa, Akhanda. Body is Jada, inert. It has no independent existence. Atma is Chaitanya Swarupa. These are some of the pointers how we can do Atma Anatma Vivechanam for Annamaya Kosha. How to apply and negate Annamaya Kosha. Now let us see the second layer of our personality, Pranamaya Kosha. Pranamaya Kosha is the vital air sheath. In this diagram, we covered the outermost precinct, Annamaya. Second layer is vital air sheath, and this is a part of the subtle body, Sukshma Sharira. So the second layer in the pyramid here is the vital air sheath, or also known as Pranamaya Kosha. So vital air sheath pervades the food sheath, meaning it is subtler than food sheath. The 5 pranas, Vayu Vikara, it controls the physiological function of the body. They are called pranas. First is prana, apana, udana, samana, vyana. So prana is considered, it controls the respiration, inhalation, exhalation, inhalation, exhalation. Apana is, it evacuates, it rejects. All these functions are taken care of by apana vayu. It takes care of the body excretion process, fecus, urine, perspiration, all that is function of apana. Udana, all reverse processes from stomach upwards is done by udana, like vomiting, burping, or shedding tears, sneezing. These are all believed to be the function of udana. And also, I believe it helps in the capacity to entertain new thoughts, assimilate new thoughts, meaning to capacity to acquire new knowledge. And also at the time of death, Udana Vayu helps to eject the subtle body out of this one to find another body. Samana. Samana Vayu, they are in charge of assimilation of the digested food, circulation of blood, nourishment to every cell of the body is taken care of by Vyana. So these five pranas, pancha pranas, are vital to our life. One key thing we have to note from prana and learn from it is they function quietly from birth till death, even when we are asleep. Even if one of them were to stop completely, we say Ramanama Satyahai, we die. When they function efficiently, when all the pranas function efficiently, the body remains healthy, sense organs are very keen, the organs of action are very sharp, and our mind is very alert. But if the pranas malfunction, we know the body is ill, body becomes imbalanced. Hence, there is so much emphasis on pranayama in Yoga Shastra for regulation of the body and the mind. Another key aspect of pranas, they work quietly, and thank God we don't have to learn how to breathe or digest our food. They do this quietly, day in and day out. Imagine with all the junk food we eat, if we had to control our digestion, if we had to do that, we would not have time for anything else. So the five pranas, along with five organs of action, karmendriyas, are called pranamaya kosha. When we are identified with the pranamaya kosha, what do we say? We say, I am hungry, I am thirsty. Shud pipasa, these are the two functions of the pranas identification. With that much introduction, let us cover a few selected verses of Viveka Choodamani. Verse number 165 in your text. Karmendriyai panchabiranchitoyam. Karmendriyai panchabiranchitoyam. Prano bhavet pranamayastu koshah. Prano bhavet pranamayastu koshah. येनात्मवानन्नमयोऽनुपूर्णः येनात्मवानन्नमयोऽनुपूर्णः प्रवर्तते सौ सकलक्रियासु प्रवर्तते सौ सकलक्रियासु कर्मेन्द्रियैः टुगेदर कर्मेन्द्रियैः पञ्चभिरञ्चितोऽयम् प्राणो भवेत् प्राणमयस्तु कोशः येनात्मवानन्नमयोऽनुपूर्णः प्रवर्तते सौ सकलक्रियासु. Here, Bhagavan Adi Shankaracharya ji says, these pranas, which now we are familiar with, coupled with 5 organs of action, karmendriya, they form the vital air sheath. So what happens with this? The physical sheath, Annamaya Kosha, pravartate sau sakala kriyasu. The body seems to perform various activities. So the vital air sheath keeps this body alive and vital. Can this be the cell? That question is answered here in number 166. Naivatmapi pranamayo vayu vikaraha ganta ganta vayu vadantar bahireshah yasmat kinchit kvapi na vetishtamanishtam swam vanyam va kinchana nityam paratantraha. Pranamaya kosha. The self or Atma is not Pranamaya kosha. Why? It is Vayu Vikara. Just like the body is the modification of food. This Pranamaya kosha is the modification of vital air. This vital air sheath has no independent existence. It does not know, he says, it does not know whether it is its own or it is others. Yasmat kinchit kvapina vetishtamanishtam swam vanyam va kinchana nityam paratantraha. It neither knows itself, it does not know others, it is dependent on something behind it, which is subtler than itself. It does not know what is happiness, it does not know what is suffering, and what is subtler than the vital air sheath? It is the mental sheath, manomaya kosha, which we are going to put a pause here and we will see that next week. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah Sarve Santu Niramayah Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschid Dukkha Bhag Bhavet. Om Asatoma Sadgamaya Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya Mrutyorma Amrutam Gamaya Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnaat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om Tat Sat. May all be happy, may all be healthy, may all see auspiciousness, may none suffer. Om peace, peace, peace. With that, I'll open it up for our interactive session. So if you can stay back, please do so.